Welcome to the Global Speaker Advantage, the #1 podcast where your voice goes beyond borders. Hosted by Nshom, international speaker and coach, this show is for speakers ready to grow influence, land paid gigs, and make a global impact. Tune in every Tuesday and Friday weekly for insights, interviews, and strategies to help you thrive on the world stage. Let's go global. Welcome to the Global Speaker Advantage, the #1 podcast where your voice goes beyond borders. Hosted by Nshom, international speaker and coach, this show is for speakers ready to grow influence, land paid gigs, and make a global impact. Tune in every Tuesday and Friday weekly for insights, interviews, and strategies to help you thrive on the world stage. Let's go global. Welcome to the Global Speaker Advantage, the #1 podcast where your voice goes beyond borders. Hosted by Nshom, international speaker and coach, this show is for speakers ready to grow influence, land paid gigs, and make a global impact. Tune in every Tuesday and Friday weekly for insights, interviews, and strategies to help you thrive on the world stage. Let's go global.
This is the Global Speakers Advantage podcast, like you know already, and I am super excited because this is the last show of the year 2025. Man, I can hit the table. And guess what? Today, I'm not just alone, but I'm with an amazing speaker and an incredible guest that you're going to discover just for yourself. Here at the Global Speakers Advantage podcast, we bring international speakers, global speakers, and speakers with experience that they can as well share their journey, their trajectory, their exodus with you to inspire you, to get you fired up, even as you unleash your giant as far as the speaking industry is concerned. And so today, I have the privilege and the honor to introduce to you our special guest. And this is not any other person, but the one and only Aubee. Welcome, Ellen.
Thank you, Coach Oliver, for having me. What a privilege and an honor it is to join you on your final Global Speaker Advantage podcast for the year. I am so excited to be here and excited for our conversation today.
Mm-hmm. I'm equally very excited to have you. And I was like, in my prayers, I was like, I wish to have Helen before the year runs up. So then next year, I should be getting you on a different platform, bigger platforms, not just the podcast. So, and I'm excited that you were able to create time so we could do this conversation together, which is very important to the audience that will be watching us out there from all around the world, Africa, America, Asia, Europe, you can name a few. And so, without any ado, Ellen, you're a purpose discovery life coach and keynote speaker. So without any ado, what do you want our audience to know about Ellen? And again, what are the 3 things you would expect everybody listening to us right now, or someone who's going to listen to us throughout this conversation, to take home from this session or from this episode?
Thank you so much for the questions. And thank you, like I said, for the opportunity to be here. I know that your audience is special globally, and what a privilege it is to be on this platform. And so I will begin with saying that Ellen Aubee, or as people call me, Coach Ellen, is someone who is purpose-driven. I am someone who values creating impact, but also I am someone who wants to be able to live a lasting impression wherever I go, whoever I interact with. And so during our time together, during our conversation together this afternoon, I want people to leave knowing that they have a purpose, they have the ability to create impact, but also whatever they do in life, it's not just for them, but it's for the next generation that's coming after them. But also, when we make a decision to choose ourselves, we're also honoring our gifts, our talents, our resources to make the world a better place. So that's what I would love to leave the audience with, especially as we are rounding up this year, 2025, and looking forward with expectation for 2026.
I love that. That's so brilliant. And, you know, 2025 was an amazing year to many people, plus myself, because I learned, I was challenged, I was inspired through what you're doing. I mean, following you on LinkedIn, on Facebook, I just learned a lot. The interaction, the transformational trainings and speaking you had throughout the year was so phenomenal. And I love the stories you shared from some strategic sessions you had with some of your students and clients, how their lives were impacted and transformed. And when you mentioned the aspect of your messages transforming lives and not leaving them as you met them, I was just reminding myself that, oh, I remember that has been happening already. And I saw that, firsthand experience and a firsthand witness here in 2025. And congratulations for the great and amazing job you're doing. So, a lot of people listening right now, they'll be curious, like public speaking, professional speaking, okay? Life coaching. So, speaking, what brought you into the speaking industry? A lot of people have different reasons why they join. Myself, I have my reasons why I decided to become a speaker some 15 years ago. You have your own reasons, right? So, what was the trigger that took you from whatever career you were onto before into the speaking industry right now?
Yeah, thank you for that question.
Hmm.
Part of my background is I am a servant leader, which means that as a Christian, I serve in ministry. Part of what I do is speaking, whether I'm leading worship, but
Hmm.
also if I'm giving a message, if
Okay.
I'm speaking or giving a sermon.
Hmm.
And so the light bulb moment came when I realized that my storytelling, when I realized that the impact in what it is that I have to share just should not stay in ministry. There are
Mm,
opportunities for me to be able to be in the marketplace
mm,
to share my story, whether it's purpose discovery, whether it's finding identity, whether it's resilience, whether it's leadership development. All of these skills, all of these resources, all of the experience that I have cultivated over the years now provided me the opportunity to say, you know what? I am in a position to speak outside of just the four walls of my church. And so this is how I started my journey of now seeking public speaking outside of just the ministry platform.
what a wonderful way to expand ministry and to increase your worldview when it comes to reaching out to more people, even with the good news. That's really so inspiring. So you got into public speaking because you wanted to gain new horizons, new territories, new industries, and meet new people in different cultures, so you can be able to spread that love. And excitingly, not leaving them as you met them. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Because I think not everybody goes to church, and not everybody might be able to go to church at the end of the world. So reaching out to those people in other platforms can be so incredible, connecting with them and sharing the story.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. Tell us, who are the people that your message benefits, Ellen?
Yeah. So as I stated before, my starting in the ministry, now I've come to a realization that I can connect with different people all over the world, across industries, across cultures, across age generations. And so just to give an example, one thing that I realized this year is that I have a heart for young people.
Mm.
And so this opportunity has allowed me to be able to focus on what type of impact do I want to leave for the young people. But at the same time, I've also had opportunities to be on platforms where I was able to speak with different age groups, not only women, but men and women, and also speak to different industries where it's not just specifically ministry, it's also marketplace, it's also industries where people are looking for opportunities to have leadership development, opportunities where people will cultivate the vision that they want to be able to have for their lives. So, with all things being equal, I have that opportunity to do those things.
Mm. That's so beautiful. You're targeting young people, men like women and men, simultaneously. That's so interesting. So it maybe as we're having this conversation, somebody could just join in or watch after and like, hey, we have this event coming up, we have this conference coming up, we have this workshop coming up, this boot camp, this symposium, and we're kind of looking for a speaker who can talk about, X or Y or Z. What do you talk about? What are the topics that really excite you?
Well, I would say my number one topic that excites me is purpose discovery, knowing your why.
Why is that very important to you, Ellen?
Why is purpose discovery important? Why is knowing your why important? It positions you in a place where you are making an impact. It's not just something where, oh, I'm doing something because I'm getting paid a certain amount of money. I'm doing something because of likes. Doing something. You're actually creating an opportunity to influence people, but that influence is going to be impactful. And so that is an area that is very near and dear to me because of the fact that it's not just about you. Purpose discovery is finding your why, but also taking it to a place where you are making an impact. You're transforming people's lives. Another thing that I am passionate about speaking is about identity.
Okay.
A lot of people walk around, they don't know who they are. They're depending on someone else to tell them who they are. And so knowing who you are, knowing who your true authentic self is, and being able to show up for yourself. Not navigating your life based on what social media is telling you. You're not navigating your life based on what your family and friends are telling you. You are living your life based on knowing who you genuinely are, and you're showing up authentically, unapologetically in the world, in the places and the spaces that you are. Another thing that I love to talk about is resilience, right? Life gets hard, life gets difficult, but being able to know that you have support, being able to know that you have tools, resources that will help you to navigate when those difficulties come. Leadership development. For a long time in my life, I was in corporate America and I was in healthcare administration. So I was able to gain tools that cultivated the skills that I already had in me to become the leader that I needed to be. And because of those skills, because of that experience, I am now able to share my skills. I saw the impact of what being a leader meant for my staff members. And so with that, I'm able to provide those resources and change and adaptability. Change happens. It's just a matter of when. And it's a matter of, are we going to go with the change or are we going to be stuck in where we are? And so all things that happen in life, we want to be able to know how to navigate those changes so we can thrive. Because we don't want to be stuck in life. We don't want to be in a position where we feel bad for ourselves, we feel sorry for ourselves, but we want to be in a position where we can grow and we can thrive.
This is so exciting. Purpose, finding identity, resilience, these are very core elements that you barely never see a successful person who is really thriving, not striving, who has not built himself or herself to through these values: purpose, discovery, finding identity, which they at times are intertwined, and then resilient. So Simon Sinek said something the other day very powerful. He said, when you work hard on the things you love to do, that's passion. When you work hard on the things you don't love to do, that's stress. And at the end of the year like this one, there are a lot of people who are excited. They have worked very hard. They don't feel tired. They don't feel exhausted because like that's what they were born to do. That's the things they really love to do. I mean, you can bear witness with me, and then even as we move and speak around the world, around the United States, there are times that you don't really feel tired, when you do the things that you really love to do. And on the other hand, a lot of people, they by the time they leave in the office, they're already exhausted. End of the week, they're too tired. They cannot wait for weekends and all of that. So, what do you have to say to somebody watching now or who's going to watch after on the importance of discovering your purpose, finding your identity, and diving and plunging into that life that you had been designed to live, even by default, before you came to this world?
Well, one thing I can say is listen and look for signs. Listen, meaning that when you serve in your purpose, when you are operating in your why, the people who are the recipients of your gifts and your talents are going to be the ones speaking on the impact that you're making in their lives. So that's one thing I would say. And then looking for signs, opportunities where you're placed to make an impact. And these are not by coincidence. These are strategic, where opportunities come, you are planted. And as you were talking about passion versus stress, one thing about passion, one thing about your purpose, very seldom do you have to be stressful or strenuous work towards what it is that you're supposed to do. This comes naturally. And then what helps is the enhancement of getting additional, whether it's training or courses, just to be able to better equip you. But it starts right here.
Yeah.
It starts from your heart.
From the heart.
From what you love to do and how you show up for people. Even if you are tired, you will gain the strength to be able to serve. And you serve with a smile on your face. You serve by showing up. And then you serve by doing what it is that you were called to do. And ultimately, you will now hear people saying, wow, what you said made a difference. How you said it made me think twice. And you may not realize that you may be doing a call to action to your audience in how you share your story or in how you may have overcome something. And then now they can say, wow, if such has done it, then I can definitely do so. So that would be some of the things that I will share.
That's really exciting. I love the aspect of serving with a smile on your face.
Yeah.
I love that. When I go to a supermarket, to a mall, to anywhere, and somebody's serving with a smile on the face, I like it. And in America, that's very common because I understand that the system here is a little bit different from in other countries, right? The system here is a capitalist system, and most of the time people will serve you with a smile on their faces because of the tip that they want you to give to them, right? Especially in the capitalist setup like America. But in other countries like maybe Singapore, like let's go back to Africa. In Africa, most of the time that people don't expect tips, but they still do that with smiles on their faces. And so what is now when you see somebody like Martin Luther King Jr., may his soul continue to rest in peace, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., all right, call it Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. If you ask me the square foot of his house or the kind of car he drove in, I won't tell you. I have no idea how much money was left in his bank account by the time he died or he was assassinated. I won't tell you because I don't know. But if you ask me what he did, I would tell you in a book. I can even write a book about him. You know what I mean? Like almost everybody around the world knows about Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Same thing with Nelson Mandela. If you ask me how much money Nelson Mandela had in his bank account when he died, I won't tell you. Which car was he driving or which car did he drive? I won't tell you. Then, so you see, at the end of the day, what is really important to many people is not how much wealth you accumulated for yourself and your family, but it's about what is the legacy? What can people remember you for, right? So it is, what do you have to tell to people watching us on the importance of, because I noticed that a lot of people work very hard on things they're never born to do. They abandon the purpose that brought them on earth. And they're like, I want to do this. I want to make more dollars. I want to make more this. But at the end of the day, they're just pursuing the win. And you know, you can never pursue win and get it.
Yeah.
You will never feel it. But on the other side, your purpose could not just be to make millions and billions. It could just be to clean the street. It could just be to provide people water to drink. You know, it could just be to encourage people, right? What do you have to say on the importance of us pursuing our purpose over accumulating wealth that at the end of the day, it would probably not have a huge impact in our legacy?
Yeah. Well, the two people that you spoke about, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and also Nelson Mandela, those were people who were transformational leaders. And they were not driven by not the wealth in terms of money, but the wealth and the impact and the difference that they were going to make in their lives. So we'll start with Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King sacrificed his life. He did some things that were uncomfortable. He went against the grain. And at the end of the day, it cost him his life. But imagine the changes that he made, not only in the United States of America, but also globally. The changes that he made, that also was an example for his children. And ultimately, his wife, despite of him losing his life at that young age, she continued carrying that light. And that's what knowing your purpose is. That even when your life ends on earth, your lights will continue to shine. People will take on the baton and be the change that they want to see in the world. And then we have Nelson Mandela. He made the sacrifice of making a change in a country that was not ready for the change. But not only did he spend time in jail, but he came out and he became the president. And so one thing about purpose discovery, it will be uncomfortable. Be prepared to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, making the sacrifices, you know, going against the grain, saying things that people may not like. But ultimately, you need to be focused on your why. You need to be focused on the impact. If you're going to be driven by money, if you're going to be driven by receiving, and especially in this social media age, likes, then I would say you may have to reconsider why you're doing what it is that you're doing. Because I can tell you, as someone who is a transformational leader myself, there have been times where things were uncomfortable. I have been stretched, but my focus has always been who are the benefactors of what I am doing, whether it's in ministry, whether it's in public speaking, whether it's in teaching, whether it's in serving. Right now, I'm so grateful that the work that I do in the Gambia with one of our schools, the Fanaloon Memorial School, that next year we're going to be having a feeding program for the school, because guess what? There are students that are going to school and they're hungry. They don't have food to eat in the morning. And so that's what it's about, seeing the need and providing a solution for it. So that's what I would say to your question, for whoever wants to be a transformational leader, whoever wants to lead with impact, that's what it will require for you to do.
Wow. You have to get uncomfortable, comfortable. Oh, that's interesting. So you noticed something, like myself, and then just before that, if you're watching us, let us know which part of the world you're watching us from. Even as thank you so much, John Noel. John Noel is greeting everybody. Greetings, and John Noel. Great. You notice that the way the world is going right now, a lot of people do things for likes and comments, not for the values that those things expect them to do them for. A lot of people show up for visibility, not to build the value that they actually are supposed to be building. To the extent that most organizations, their focus is making money. And most of the time, they're missing out the values that comes with the making money, or that go to the making money. And it becomes very problematic that the world is more tailored on what can we do to make to increase our margins, right? And they're not focused. They're careless of the repercussion, especially the negative repercussion of us increasing our margin on the people consuming what we are doing. Let's take for instance a TV show, maybe a comedy TV show. They can say any kind of nonsense, right? That can make people laugh. They can ridicule people, criticize people, say all sort of things about people. I mean, like people's parents, people's fathers or mothers or whoever, and they don't care. In as much as that will make people to laugh, to have fun. You see, that is a trend that we are almost taking right now. And I think there's a problem with that. Creating content to help people to follow you and do stuff, but you're harming and destroying people's lives and careers and professions and homes. That comes with a problem. What do you have to say? For me, that might not just be purpose. All right. So, because I think, do you think that purpose has to do with doing something constructive that can uplift, elevate, and be able to prepare other people who are the byproduct of that thing you're doing? Or it has to do with doing anything that can give you money and give you fame, and you can get people hurt and you still go through that?
No. So purpose is definitely about making an impact. And it's not, like I said, it's not just about you. So what you shared earlier is more people, it's more on a superficial, on a surface level, because we are in a society where people will pay to see someone's pain.
Exactly.
People will pay to see how someone is having a horrible day, but not provide solutions. So we're not on a mission driven, we're not on a solution driven society. It's one of those things. It's like, oh, we need laughter. We need to be able to see someone suffer. And unfortunately, that's what sells. But when it comes to purpose, and there might be a smaller, maybe majority of people doing things that's not beneficial, but be encouraged and still continue to do good, because that good may be something that will save someone's life. And you may hear about it later on. That good may be something that propels someone to have a lifestyle change to become better. I remembered one of the groups that I taught based in Ghana, the Mindset Trifecta. It's a group of young men and women. And so as I did their talk as a guest speaker, part of what we were talking about was purpose discovery. So one of the young men in the class now started reading Purpose Driven Life by Pastor Warren. And so when I came back as their graduation keynote speaker, we touched upon that. We touched upon the different parts of purpose discovery. But guess what? Even if it takes one person's life to transform, that is good enough. But the goal is to have a ripple effect where the one person who knows their purpose will now share with the next person, or the one person who has an idea or a vision or a dream will share it and get the help. And that's what it's about. It takes one person to keep going and going and going. And ultimately, there'll be more good. There will be bad out there.
I love that. And tell us a little bit your experience with the coaching program that went through. What an exciting journey. So before coming to the coaching program that we did, how was your experience before that, Ellen?
Well, before our coaching program, I definitely knew that there was more, but I just didn't know how to cultivate everything and create that opportunity. And so meeting you was the right time for me to be able to get the assistance that I needed to now put everything that I thought I knew into sessions with you, but also ultimately having tangible evidence that will help me to move forward in my speaking career. And so as we went through our weekly coaching sessions, you'll give me homework. You'll give me things that I needed to do, deliverables I needed to do. And so as we were going through those processes, now the light bulb started coming. It's like, okay, this was the missing link that was now going to shift me from not only doing work in ministry, but also expand my reach, expand my visibility into the marketplace.
That's so interesting. And another way of frame from which I see coaching is not just from the fact that you're going to learn. It's also from the fact that your ideas are going to be validated and you can confidently talk about them, deploy them. And because I realized one of the greatest secrets of communication is confidence. And when we talk of confidence, some people just think it's about that boldness on the stage. No, confidence has to do with a lot also with your ability to believe in what you're talking about. Because if you don't believe in what you're talking about, people will never believe in it. And when people see you talking about something that the sense that you believe in this thing you're talking about, that is what makes people to believe in you. And that's exactly what happens to Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King Jr. They believed in what they were talking about. And before they noticed they had a movement, they have a community, they had a tribe of people that were following them because they were talking with passion and they believe it so much. And that's one thing I love so much about coaching and even what we did with our coaching program. And so from then, what has shifted, during the coaching that changed your speaking and change your perspective and your worldview about how you used to see the speaking industry before and how you see now?
I would say what shifted were opportunities. So visibility on, especially I would say LinkedIn, provided opportunities for me to get invitations to speak on a global platform and platforms that allowed me to be able to have a wider reach. And this is something that I would not have been able to do just by myself. And so even part of, I was speaking of tangible evidence when we would do our coaching sessions, one of the things that I had to do was create my speaking bio. And so having the example that you shared and you gave me now allowed me the opportunity to create my own speaker bio. And that would be something that I would not have done if I wasn't enrolled in your program, but also to craft it in a way where I'm specifically focusing on my speaking topics, right? And then adding things in there that people, when they look at my bio, they will see, okay, she has value to add to our audience. And so those are the things that help me to now shift my mindset as to, okay, getting these invitations on LinkedIn, getting invitations online now validates that I am ready to share my story. I am ready to provide training. I am ready to be able to speak where I know that the impact is going to be great.
This is interesting, Ellen. I'm excited really hearing that. So I'm happy that you are taking stride and taking giant leaps, because a lot of people out there are very talented. I mean, very, very talented speakers, talented more than ourselves even, but they are invisible. They are invisible in the speaking world. And I'm interested to know, what are the actions you started taking after the coaching session that made you to be more visible? What are the steps, maybe 3 steps you took that enabled you to be able to get gigs and then make it to be visible, that people reach out to you and they want you to do this, they want you to do that, they want you to do this? Because it's very important that our audience know, because most of the time they think that is after the coaching, but the coaching does the job, but you have to do the work. You know what I mean? You have to work the work. So if you do not work the work will not be done, right? So what are the things that make you visible? The steps you took after the coaching session that enabled you to start having gigs and gigs and gigs. Okay. Just a high shout out to Sandra Sonabel, who's just joining us live on Facebook. All right.
So I would say showing up. One of the first things I did was I showed up on LinkedIn and I started speaking on those things that were purpose driven, but at the same time, I started speaking on things that was making an impact, and people started noticing, and people started telling me how what I was saying or what I was sharing was making an impact. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing is I started honoring invitations. And so when people will message me to have opportunities to speak, whether it's a 5-minute speech or whether it's a 30-minute talk, I would always say yes. And I'm not only saying yes to me, but I'm also saying yes to opportunities that are opening doors. And then the third thing is I still continue to educate myself. I still continue to learn and read. One of the things that you suggested was a book concerning public speaking. And so I started reading the book. So being able to not just say, okay, well, Coach Oliver has given me his time, resources, I'm good. No, it's continuing to evolve as a lifelong learner. It's continue to be able to see, okay, how can I become a better speaker? How can I provide opportunities where I can engage my audience? How can I provide opportunities if I do a training or a workshop that I'm able to leave tangible evidence that will allow the audience to be able to go home and implement it? You just don't want to be someone that just provides opportunity on a surface level. You want to be able to provide opportunities where people can now see what it is that you have done, and now they can take it and they can run with it. One of the things that I was blessed to do is to lecture our Victorian Entrepreneurial Academy through the foundation. And this was a 13-week session. And this is based in Nigeria. But one thing that I can say is that every week when we came, I can see the change in the ladies. There was one particular student who, when we came, she was like, she wanted to get her confidence back when it comes to speaking. Let's just say at her graduation, she was the keynote speaker at graduation for her classmates. And this is someone 13 weeks prior said, I needed confidence with my speaking. So when I see things like that, it reminds me that I am truly not only working on my purpose, but there are people out there that are waiting for me to be able to make that impact in their lives.
Oh, that's very interesting. You said, you talk about seizing opportunities, taking chances. Now, um, as a speaker, that is really smart. Like getting these opportunities is 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, in 1 hour, you get them, you get them. I know for sure that it's not all the opportunities that you got them. You actually some came and you evaluated. They would probably were not aligning with your values, with your perspective, with your worldviews, with what they talk about, and probably like, okay, this is not for me. I will. This is for me. That is not for me. That is for me. What do you have to share with somebody listening to us right now? And maybe the person thinks that when I become a speaker, or if I'm a speaker, I will definitely want to take every opportunity that comes my way, because not all opportunities might just be the right opportunity for you to speak. So, how were you able to distinguish the opportunities that were meant for you and those who were not meant for you, please?
Yeah. So one thing about when it comes to serving, because that's basically what we are doing, when it comes to public speaking, when it comes to knowing your purpose, when it comes to serving in your purpose, is you have to understand the cost. And so the cost could be, is this something, like you were saying, in alignment to my value system, my core values?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can have opportunities to get all of the money in the world, but if it's something that's not in alignment to your core value, then it provides you opportunity to question your authenticity. And also, you want to be careful that whatever you're speaking on is something that you know yourself. I think one of the young ladies in the audience just asked a question about speaking about something that you know. Because your own story is your story. No one can write your story for yourself. Yourself. And so you have to be in a position to be authentic. When you share your story, people are able to connect to you, but also they can reflect on themselves, their journey, and how they're able to move forward, how they're able to make impact. So I would say when those invitations come, absolutely check to see whether it's something that's in alignment to your core values, but also making sure that this is something that you're able to meet the needs for yourself and also for whoever it is that's providing the invitation, and then the audience. Because if you're just doing something because of the money, then you're not going to be able to really focus on honing in on why you're doing it, what it is now. Money is great. It's definitely great. But you also want to make sure that you're not driven by money every time invitations come. And it's okay to say, you know what, at this time, this may not be in alignment to the values. It's okay.
I love that. And that just leads us to the question that young Sandra asked. Sandra said, can someone talk about what they have been through with their audience? Or you just need to choose a topic that you know well. So, what do you have to say about that?
Thank you, young Sandra, for the wonderful question. And it's amazing when you ask that question, because that was one of the questions that one of my students at the Victoria Entrepreneurial Academy asked.
Yeah.
So part of public speaking is us sharing our story. There is no way that I can come in front of you and then just start giving a topic and not connect it with how I became a speaker or how I was able to overcome resilience, right? And so one thing you want to be able to do, Sandra, is to go back to your core. What is something that you have overcome yourself that you can now speak about? And when you share your story, it connects to someone else's story. And I'll give you an example, young Sandra. So as I was with the ladies and we were doing our lectures together, they had to do a capstone project, which meant that they had to give up to 7-minute speech. So one thing that both ladies were already doing without them understanding is they were doing mentorship to young girls, to teenage girls. And so one of the students can connect her story to when she was a teacher, how the young ladies gravitated towards her. They'll come to her, they'll ask questions, they'll also ask for advice. And she was doing mentoring without her realizing that's what she was doing. But then this part of her story that really resonated was the fact that she had experienced something painful in her life that now she was able to help to protect the young ladies who may have experienced that, but they found a safe space in her. And so she was also one of the people who was like, you know, how would I know what to talk about or what topic? And so I helped her to be able to craft her storytelling where she was able to tie in what she was doing as a teacher, but how she was mentoring the students, and then why it's important for young women to have, and men, to have mentors in their lives. Why it's imperative as they're growing up in teenage years to be able to be in community, to be able to have mentors around them that will help them to grow, thrive, but also feel safe, because that's the main thing with her storytelling, was that she created a safe space for the students, and part of mentorship is creating a safe space for someone else.
Okay, that's brilliant. I love that. Young Sandra, hope you're getting that. Yeah, you have to be able to share your story. You have to be able to share your success stories. And you know, most speakers, I've listened to you several times talk about this. You know, speakers, one of the things that audience love to see in speakers is vulnerability. That vulnerability. They don't want to know that you know it all, but you're just participating with them. And I've really seen you act this way and use that a lot in your presentations, Ellen. Brilliant. I know most people, they begin public speaking as a hobby, and probably that's how maybe you started it. Okay, let me do it for a hobby. I love this thing. I love this skill. I love doing this. What was it? What happened before you decided to, like, okay, let me not just do this as a hobby. Let me make this a career. Let me make this a profession. When was that turning point?
I think,
and which year was that? Yeah.
The turning point for me is when I decided, and that decision was in investing in a coach. So in life, there are opportunities that will come with us investing in people, in professionals, in services that will help to take us to the next level. So my turning point came when I decided that I'm going to invest in getting a resource that will help me to take my public speaking to the next level. Not only doing it as a hobby, because for me, as I stated before, me speaking was in ministry, was in church, was in providing opportunities to speak to young women in places and spaces. So it was service, but now having the opportunity to invest and get the tools, get the skill sets that I needed to go to the next level. And as I did that, doors started opening. Other opportunities started happening. And it would not have happened if I just decided, you know what, I'll just continue to do what it is that I need to do in preaching. Opportunities have come where I have spoken in women's empowerment events, because that's part of what I love to do: empower women, empower young men, empower people just to know that their life matters and then they have something to give to this world.
I love that, Ellen. And you know, you were my second client in the United States, and that was fun. Like that was fun. So one of the reasons that I really love what they're doing is because we have invested. Personally, I've invested a lot in mentorship and coaching, a lot of money. And one thing that people might not understand, even those who are watching us now and after, is that when you really want to do something and you are not investing in that thing you really, really, really want to do, you can never get to the level and to the extent that you could have been in if you had invested in yourself. It's a little bit like what you do to others is what others do to you. And I have no doubt that 2026, you're going to make a lot more impact, not only in making in financial value, but in touching more lives. And to me, that's the greatest work. I know you're gonna do gigs around the world where you be paid for your keynote, but the lives you touch, that's where the real world lies. And so starting small like is so powerful. And I'm so excited to know that that was a game changer. And thank you once again for choosing uh, me for this process, this journey that we actually been in together. A lot of people listening to you right now, like Sandra is already saying, I want to become a public speaker soon. I don't know how soon is that, and I think you, Ellen, will be a good coach to Sandra. You know what I mean, like because you want to start soon, and that it'd be so cool, you know, working with Sandra. You know, so I'm watching from Abuja, Nigeria. Thank you so much, Vera, for that. Tell us somebody like Vera. Okay, Vera has gone through some training with me, not like Sandra. What do you have to tell somebody like Vera or anybody watching us or now after on the steps they can take after this podcast, after this conversation, to start speaking, to start earning, and to start making impact with their voice? Ellen.
Yes. Thank you, Vera, for watching. And what I would say to Vera and Sandra and everyone else who desires to use your voice to make an impact is the first thing you have to do is decide. If you decide that you want to be a public speaker, then the second thing is you have to invest. Invest in a public speaking coach, invest in training, invest in personal and professional development and growth. Thirdly, is you have to act. That means that reaching out to either Coach Oliver or myself or whoever you feel like will help to take you to the next level to be able to receive what it is that you're hoping to do. So as you watch us talk today, as we're getting ready to round up the year, if being a public speaker is something that you desire to do in 2026, I would say those things that I shared will help you to become who it is that you need to be, because even as Coach Oliver and I are speaking, here we are in December. When we met on a platform where we were both speakers, and then I reached out to him, and then we had a discovery call, and then I decided that he was a good fit for me to be my public speaking coach. We started in January. And so here we are 12 months later. I'm on his podcast, but also I have grown. I've seen myself grow based on not only the invitations that I have been a part of, but also opportunity that has come that has stretched me. One of the things that I shared was being a lecturer for the ladies at the Victorian Entrepreneurial Academy. Mm-hmm. And if I hadn't gotten the tools, if I wasn't confident in knowing that I'm able to make an impact, in knowing that what I have to teach these women will help make a difference in their lives, then it would have been a waste of time for me to invest my money, invest my time with Coach Oliver. And so part of your investment is you should see tangible growth that's happening, and you should see the impact that it's making for other people. So that's what I would share.
I love that. Very powerful action step. Okay, let's go back to action one. What's the first thing you talk about?
I said you have to decide.
I love that. Decision. So decide. Number two, invest in trainings and coaching and certification.
Yes. And then you have to act, meaning that
and then number three, act.
You send a message on LinkedIn. You go on the website, do schedule a discovery call. Yeah.
I love that. And hey, we are just joining here by one of the most talented speaker from Cameroon. One of my mentees, Brittany Funky from the Republic of Boya. Oh, I love that.
Welcome, Brittany.
Brittany is a powerhouse of inspiration and talent.
Awesome.
She's taking the country by storm.
Nice. Well, Brittany, congratulations. Keep doing great work.
So hope you meet Brittany anytime from now in Cameroon or in America. So you mentioned something very important, Ellen, Aubee, and we cannot part our way here without you talking about that. The aspect of the choice of the coach you want. What made you to choose me as a coach that you wanted? I understand that there are a lot of things that people are looking in a coach, right? Experience, exposure, certifications, pedigree, aura, all of that. So what? Because a lot of people are watching us and they're into sport, soccer, they're into table tennis, they're into public speaking and leadership and agriculture. You can name them, space traveling and aviation or aircraft and all of that. And they're looking for a coach or a mentor that can hold their hand and walk them through the path. I want you to give your take on how one can get the right mentor or the right coach in this context for that thing that, because this is the end of the year and 2026 is at hand already. For those who are watching it in 2025 or 26, I don't know what time of the year you're watching this. A lot of people are asking questions about how can they have a guide. Let me put it this way, right? How can they have a guide, somebody who can actually help them to arrive where they want to go with their lives, with their goals, with their families, with their careers, with their health and all of that. So what can you say?
So first thing I would say is do your research. Make sure that whoever you are going to choose to be your mentor or to be your coach is in alignment to your values, but it's in alignment to what your goals are, what your vision are, whether it's your personal or whether it's your professional. So as you observe, as you learn who this individual is, and then making a decision to see whether this is the right person who will help you to go to that level. I mean, we're in the age of technology where between social media, between going on the World Wide Web, there's information that we can learn about individuals. But I would say is whoever you choose, are they in alignment to where it is that you're going? Are they going to be in a position to help you? Is the program going to give you tangible evidence that you're going to take and you're going to implement? It's not just, okay, let me invest all of this money into training, into coaching. And then after the training and coaching is done, you just sit on your hands and you're waiting for the next thing to happen. And so you also have to put a sense of urgency to whatever it is that you're going to do. You can't make excuses. And that's the thing. If you are not ready to move forward, don't waste your time and don't waste your coach or your mentor's time, because you could be sitting in a seat that someone else should be sitting. And so the ownership comes with you, like I said, making the decision, but also you're making an educated decision on whether this person. Now, I mean, there have so many different coaches, so many different mentors all over the world. And you have to be able to pick the right person that is for you. And you have to be able to be okay with your decision, because a lot of your growth is not necessarily on the coach and the mentor. It's going to lie on you. How much are you willing to put in work? How much are you willing to put in sacrifice to receive what it is that you are going to do? Now, there are some people who will hold you by the hand, but there are also some people who require you to do some work, and then for them to see how much you are willing to do for them to keep putting effort and time. I know there was a time that someone reached out to me to be their coach, but then halfway through, they were not in a position to continue. And part of the reason is because of life changes that happens, and they didn't have the capacity. And it's okay. And when the person is ready, we can go ahead and take on what it is that she's desiring to do.
Mhm.
So yeah, things happen.
That's really cool. And it's not even everybody that I coach when it comes to speaking and all of that, because I understand that my time is very, very valuable. And we have a lot of folks who are excited to start things and never excited to finish. And you have to be able to be making at least a certain amount of money, at least to qualify for to our coaching program, because there's a lot of investment, a lot of work has been put into the whole process, that we don't want to waste that resources on somebody who will not be able to reproduce,
Yeah.
or on somebody who is not eligible or qualified to deliver the result. And that's why it's not everybody that we really work with. We work with people who are intentional, who really desire, and they are really hungry to grow in their speaking career. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so proud of you, Ellen. Like I see you're bulldozing, like you're a bulldozer, you're hitting it and going and speaking in different platforms. And one of the things that we also do with the coaching program is that once you engage in our program, we like adopt you as a kind of like a family, sister or brother. The reason is because there's no way, there's no need trying to coach somebody that you not follow up the person to track the growth and provide support. That's the real part of the coaching. The real thing is not what happens within the 8 sessions that we had. No, the real thing is following you up, recommending you, sending you opportunities, right? That's the rating. And if you are not really qualified, we will not have that time to be doing the rating with somebody who is not showing up. You see what I mean? Like, so that's very, very important. And I'm happy that you loved what happened, and you're still loving it, and you're getting awesome result. And our only happiness is when you're getting result. And 2026 is at hand already. And we're excited to what is going to be happening in your speaking career, and we cannot wait to see you on most global stages.
Thank you. I'm looking
You're
forward
welcome,
to
Ellen.
being on more global stages, virtually and in person.
Yeah, of course, of course. We're going to Africa. Africa is so dear to me. Like
My
Africa.
passport is ready.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, we go to Africa. We start from Cameroon, Gambia, Kenya, Rwanda, South Africa, Nigeria. We just go to
Ghana.
this country. Ghana, yeah, Ghana. Yay, Ghana, Ghana. Yeah, this is important. So, Ellen, Aubee, what are your parting words, even as we close the curtains of this conversation, please?
Yes. Thank you again, Coach Oliver, for a wonderful dialogue and conversation. And thank you to each and every one of you that was able to join. Thank you for the questions. My parting words as we are closing this year and looking into the new year with excitement and with expectation is whatever goals, whatever dreams, whatever vision that you have, you want to be able to decide.
Mm,
You want to be able to invest,
mm,
and you want to be able to act.
mm,
Whether it's personal growth, professional growth, and
mm,
development,
mm,
those are the three keys I will say in helping you to be able to cultivate and create what the new year looks like for you, whether it's public speaking, whether it's coaching, whatever industry that you're in, entrepreneurship.
mm.
Do it with those things in mind. Thank you.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Take action. Be intentional. I love that. And there was not any other better way to end this podcast today. Our last podcast for the year 2025. There was no better way to end it by using this word than using this word that you just deployed. I'm so excited about that. And we want to thank everybody who watched that. Oh, Simply Sikadi, that's my manager. Is one of the managers in the company we are working on. Simply is a great guy. Thank you, Simply. We received so much heart. Oh, my heart is full of love. Heart from Sandra, Simply. Thank you so much, Brittany. Thank you, Vera, watching right from Abuja, Nigeria. Nigeria is a great country. I love Nigeria. Thank you so much, Sarah Bell, for your love. Thank you guys for showing up. And thank you very, very, very much, Ellen, for deciding to take the bull by the horn and running with it. That's so powerful. And together with my team around the world, we are excited to see you in more speaking stages, even as we dive deeper into 2026. All right, 2026. So, hey guys, thank you once again. Share this podcast with somebody who needs to listen to this, and then follow Ellen on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube. Did you get that? Do that now. Now, not next. She talks about taking action, being intentional. Do that right now. And show Ellen some love by following her. So, do you want to say your Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn,
Yes.
or possibly YouTube link handles, names, please?
Yes. So LinkedIn is my first and last name, Ellen Aubee. Same thing for Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Instagram is Ellen _ Aubee. Mm-hmm. And then on TikTok, it is Coach Ellen. So I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you on those platforms. Thank you so much, Coach Oliver. Thank you for everyone who joined us this afternoon.
Beautiful. Yeah, and so Ellen, that's our international speaker all the way from Maryland, United States of America.
From the way of the Gambia, West Africa.
Yes, our African sister from the Gambia.
Yes.
Excellent. So we want to, go ahead, please.
No, young Sandra was asking the name of my page. So on LinkedIn, it's my first and last name, Ellen Aubee. Same thing for Facebook. IG is Ellen _ Aubee. And then my website is coachellenaubee.com. Thank you, Sandra.
Great. CoachEllenAubee.com, just as you can see on her name. So that's pretty good. So we want to leave our viewers with this particular one here. Is coming up. Okay, thank you so once again, Dora Roots Ikechuku. Oh my gosh, that's another Nigerian watching. That sounds like a Nigerian name. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Simplice, and for all the love that you guys were able to show us while we were here. All right, so even as we wrap up the conversation, we are looking forward to seeing you in the next episode next time. Hopefully, come 2026, God willing. Thank you so much, Kevin, watching all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you for the fire, bro. We are on fire.
Thank you for joining, Kevin.
We are all on fire. Thank you so much, everybody. It was such a blessing having all of you guys here. So until we meet again next time, stay blessed and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. And we're all looking forward to catching each other in 2026. God bless you and bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.